dog, I'm living it up. We just drinking, smoking, pissing, got the pistol in my shot. They hear me in the trap, we boss, we step, dog, I'm living it up. Just like so I got a little something new for all my riders and baggers, something for the 07 for my riders and gangsters. Listen up to it. Turn the system full blast, I went up to it. Hit it twice before you pass on the real, dog. I gotta give them something they can feel. So I hit them with some new for when they're out the riding real slow. Candy gang, make it straight in these Cali streets. Throwback, Raiders, jersey, black gloves, khaki streets. I'm blowing up, dog, believe it or not. I'm making this first slide stick when I'm leaving the spot. I got a lot of beat, so my heaters are fly. Keep what I got. I'm representing my Serato from Cali to Colorado, from Portland down to Miami, New York, back to Raza. My riders, just put your hands up on my Latinos and Nevadas. Let me see you stand up. Keep my system on blast. Liquor in my cup, chronic in my blood. I'm living it up, cause we just hit it. Drink, smoke, you pistol, hold you pocket. Got the pistol on my side, they heavy in the truck. Leave 5-3 stuff, dog, I'm giving it up for all my riders. Just like just focus, locals, gangsters on my soul. I got a sick fetish to make them live in this stack. I got a sick hunger to represent my side of the track. I got a fire burning in me and I cannot relax. So I put it all together and decided to rap. I was a criminal, labeled as a wicked child, making the older homies proud, dropping tracks like me getting now. And I don't stop, homie, and I never will. White wall spinning on my all chrome dating wheels. I'm blowing up, don't believe what you see. I got nothing but love for homies that believed in the G. I'm about to throwing up the 1-3 on MTV. Giving a little bit of time, I'm almost there, what you see. I represent this way of living on the realest in my blood. Doing it strictly for my brothers and my motherfucking thugs. Everywhere I go, every city I hit, they show me love. Palm trees, low riders in the motherfucking drop. Keep my system on blast. Liquor in my cup, chronic in my blood. I'm living it up, cause we just hit it. Drinking, smoking, pistol, holding stock. Got the pistol on my side, so they hear me in the truck. I'm giving it up for my riders. Like local gangsters on my soul. We can dip in and rolling, and we can drink it and smoking. I'm giving it up for all my riders. I got love for these motherfuckers. So much pride.
You're in a reverb.
Every time I flow, you should see it riding. A lot of my riders got hard. I'm gonna get on my side. From my palabra, you homies, I'm a red till I die. I keep a 45 with the hollow in the chamber. Got these eyes watching over. I feel the misdanger. All of my life, I only keep the level riders and baggers. Now riders banging cities out your city chain. Blue flag hanging out the back of my blue Levi. My blueberry chronic, don't you see me? I'm living reckless, it's respectless, it's testless. You're having a death, cause I'm like Tony Montana. I eat you roaches for breakfast, I'm certified. HBG, let the story be told. I post you platinum as a label, be a certified God. I keep my system on blast. Liquor in my cup. Chronic in my blood, I'm living it up, cause we just hit it. Drink you, smoke you, pistol, hold you, pockets. Got the pistol on my side, so they heavy in the truck. Leave 5-3 stuff, I'm giving it up for all my riders. Gangsters, lifers, rollers, locals, gangsters, all my soldiers.
Hey, so like on the TikTok, I'm trying to do the split screen thing.
You want to play another intro, or are we good? You want to hear the other one?
Y'all can hear me now?
Come.
All right. All right, Raza, what's going down, y'all? Shalom, Israel. Jubile Raza, we here another Monday night. La pura neta, holding it down, you know what I mean? All holding it down for Raza. Gonna be the voice of the Raza right here. Represent the ISUPK, Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under commanding Johnny Hana. And with me at the helm, right, I got with me Mighty Priest and Officer 500, Barak Ya'Allah, all the way straight from Canada. And also with me, representing, the Pacific Northwest, Washington, Oregon, all those areas, man. Mighty Priest and Officer 50 IR. You know what I mean? The other brother, the other carnal holding it down for the raza with me, man. You know what I mean? So it's another Monday night, man. We going down. What's going down, y'all?
Hey, so Lord in Christ. You know, this peace loves to 500 Baraki. Y'all already know. Every Monday we have La Pura Neta. You understand? We live on YouTube and we live on TikTok right now. You understand? If there's any
Right.
situation with the sound, let us know right now. Put a 1 if the sound is good, the sound is too wild. Put a 2 in the chat if the sound is not good. You understand? And just like every Monday, I have mis carnales. You understand? What's the 500 Malagma? You understand? I have my Mexican nigga, Banyamyan. You understand? Just women. Wagwan ayar.
Guan out of one.
Yeah, Medell.
The Mexican, Jamaican, Jamexican.
You're Mexican.
Jamexican.
So, Lucky, I don't think we hear you on the TikTok, Adawan. It probably is just me.
Come on, let me see. Where are you going live from, Barack? Where are you hearing from? You hearing from the TikTok or are you hearing from the YouTube?
I only hear from the streamer right now. Let me switch headsets.
God, no sweat out. Yeah, I keep getting a reverb, huh? No sweat.
Yeah, the reverb is on your side, Adawan.
Yeah, kind. So, like, I'm gonna drop out the live on TikTok real quick, please.
No sweat. I think you should plug in your headset on the phone you're using for TikTok.
Come on, I got you out. All right, just give me a sec.
Second.
All right, how about now, Watt?
Hey, no more reverb.
How's it now, Barack Yalla?
Mr. Watt.
Wab. 1 second. Try it again.
Okay, Khan.
Yeah, it's Tawab, but I don't hear you on the
now,
TikTok. Yeah, it's Tawab, but I don't hear you on TikTok. Okay, I hear it on TikTok now.
Khan, all right. So how we're gonna do is all right. I gotta do the sound for.
Bumba Clyde, you're loud though.
So how we're gonna do is all right. I gotta do the sound for. How about now? Live still? Loud still?
Hey, we good.
All right, no sweat. So what's going down, Naku?
We good.
All right, yeah, we straight now.
All right, Most High in Christ. So the things was going down around the world. IR, what you want to speak on, Carnal?
And there's a whole lot going on right now. I think a lot of us know about the whole little balloon situation, with China. You know what I mean? How it was flying around the United States and was eventually blown up by the American government. I mean, there's just a whole lot of topics, you know what I'm saying? I didn't really check what Barack Allah was sending, but I know he sent it quite a bit. So whatever he wants to talk about too.
No sweat.
It depends what you want to start with first, because I mean, regarding La Raza right now, we have, brothers being harassed by dogs on the streets. You understand? When I say dogs, you know what I'm talking about, right? We have brothers being harassed by dogs. We have a sister promoting the division. You understand? Embracing her conquistador roots. You understand? I'm just put it like that, right? And we have a brother being unbrotherly to the next generation.
Right. So
right. You know what I mean? Since this is a Raza show, we should start with these topics and then we're going to touch on that balloon situation. You know what I mean, IR? We're going to say the best for last, Doc. You know what I'm saying? So let's get started. So you know what? Since we left off, we'll start where we left off, right, IR? We ended last week's show. We were talking about the Passport Bros and what they were on. You know what I mean? So go ahead. Rock y'all are like we're gonna play that video out real quick of the
No
the
sweat.
woman. You know what I mean?
I'm still trying to figure out how we split the screen. Give me 1 second. I want to TikTok share the live. You understand?
Right. Are you too over there, carnal?
Yeah, what?
That's how your screen picking up a little bit. I know the connection isn't always so good.
In El Salvador, Peru, and Guatemala, man. They all look different. Exactly. Like if you put un Mexicano next to un Guatemalteco and they start speaking Spanish, to me, I'll be able to tell which one is from Guatemala, and then I'll be able to tell which one is Mexicano. And then there's also like certain features I can kind of tell. Every once in a while you can get them confused, but something always gives it away. Even in the aquí, like they make tamales, right? So they have tamales, they have the Mexican tamales, and then they have the Salvadorian tamales that they call them tamales. And you could tell the difference because one of them they wrap it up in a by the way they wrap it, the tamal that you can, I don't remember who wraps it how, but you can tell when you see it, like if it's a Mexican tamale or Guatemala or Salvadorian tamale. Anyways, I'm so tired. I'm so sleepy. I get tired. It's draining. Like, it's draining loading up.
Did she just say you could tell the difference between a Mexican and a Guatemalan by their features?
Concert. I mean, if I could, right? Like I never seen this video before. But I know what she means by it. You know what I mean? Like for me personally, I know like from the sounds of some brother from New York and from Texas, the accent's a little different. Even the features. Now, me personally, I could tell when somebody's from New York and in Texas, they got a different type of look, And then from Mexico City, what they call Chilango. I know that's not the proper term, but people from Mexico City, they do got a little certain type of look. You know what I mean? And people from Guatemala, you know what I mean? Also the food. Of course, our food's gonna be tasting different, and of course we're gonna be sounding different. You know what I mean? Because we're the salt of the earth, man. We got so many flavors, so many styles. You know what I mean? We got tall, short, light, dark. You know what I mean? Like I could tell the difference when I see one. You know what I mean? That's just me.
But is that what she was implying?
I think that's what she was talking about. You know what I mean? Like if you hear somebody from Jalisco and somebody from Mexico City, you could tell. You know what I mean? You'll know. If you know, you know.
Language is gonna be different, but she said features made them different.
Hey, Salakia,
what you mean by features? That's my question.
Features is like,
it's like, okay, like I have brethren, like y'all seen the video I made about my Mexican brethren and Mijo talking about Mexicans are brothers. You understand? I have another brethren from Peru. The things that they look pretty much the same. The only difference you could really tell is because I mean, probably both of y'all, like since y'all Issachar, y'all may be able to tell the difference easier, right? But the real difference is like when I hear the accent when they speak, like for me, Issachar has a thicker accent when they speak compared to like Asher from Colombia or Peru.
Right.
Understand? Or like you could tell someone, I could tell a part of it. Issachar from a Simeonite or an
Right.
Asherite. You understand? And when it comes to features, I mean, you will mistake Ephraim, Manasseh, and Simeon. And for people who are watching on TikTok and YouTube who are not familiar with the terms, we're the 12 tribes of Israel, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. So when I'm saying Simeon, I'm referring to Dominicans. Issachar, I'm referring to Mexicans. Manasseh, I'm referring to Cubans, you know, just for edification purposes. And also, I mean, the Salvadorians on my blog, they think I'm Cuban. You know? So I understand what she's saying to a certain extent. You understand? But then again, she's not too exact. Right? Because even her, like, because I'm familiar with her videos, you know, she's really about separation of La Raza. She calls herself the Dominican defender. You know, it's all about Dominic, DR this, DR that, you know, attacking DR, defending DR, or DR, we're not black or this and that. We're Dominican. You know, we have our own language and we're proud of that. I mean, so like you speak Spanish just like any other northern tribe. What are you talking about your own language? You understand?
If I could, so that's what she's trying to do. She's trying to use the little small minor differences. You're only gonna find out if you are a part of those tribes. You know, just like Otto one was saying. You know, on this arc, can point out the differences between another people from El Salvador, from Guatemala, and we could tell people from Honduras. We could tell. You know what I mean? But she's trying to use those small little minor differences as a separation, like we're like different people. Is that what she's trying to do?
Basically, you know, that's exactly what she's trying to do. As per like her content and everything, you know.
Okay,
she's trying to differentiate like Dominicans from, you know, so-called blacks or other so-called Latinos. Even when she's mentioning the term black, she's really saying we're not black as in we're not African Americans. You understand? But we know that that's not the point. You understand? Because I'm not African American, but I'll be considered as black regardless. You understand? Because I think she really has. She's really confused. As you know, she's a sister. She could be a sister or not. You understand? But I think she's just confused talking about all Latinos are mixed. You know, we're either biracial or we're either triracial, which sounds kind of fruity. You know, but yeah, she's not about gathering together. She's not about unity. That sister, you know, when you check her content and everything, the way she sounds, she's about division. You know, and like, you know, stop attacking Dominicans or I love Latinos from everywhere, but we are who we are. You understand? Dominicans were set apart. You understand?
Gotcha. Con. All right.
Con, let me find that other video you wanted to go over, Bracchiala.
Right. Then again, it's like that video is not available anymore, but there's a video of their sister talking about the passport bros, right? Who are as being advertised as being, you know, shown to the world that they're mostly brothers, right? So she's trying to say, well, she's trying to put all so-called black people in the same category as African Americans, even though I'm not. But you know, she's trying to say, oh, you trying to say Dominicans were black because you're trying to make us be like you. You know, we're all black, so it's okay for you to go to DR and sleep with Dominicans whatsoever. What she called this, Salakia? She called it thirsty camels.
She said thirsty camels, right?
Right. You know, I don't know what she's talking about because
it's just hilarious.
I mean, I was laughing and I wasn't even offended. I'm just thinking you're stupid. Because okay, I understand a lot of these passport bros, you understand, they go there for the wrong reason. They don't go there to get a rib, you understand, to probably start a family in DR, Mexico, Colombia, whatsoever. They go there mostly sleep with prostitutes. And in some cases, some of them sleep with minors. You understand? I get it why she would be angry for that reason. But if you're angry because, you know, I'm just trying to get a Dominican wife, a Mexican wife, I mean, hey, black and brown, we're the same people. You understand? Hey, and just for edification purposes, right? If she ever watching the live whatsoever, there is no such thing as biracial or triracial.
Right.
You are the seed of your father. It's as simple as that. The Lord is not the author of confusion. You understand? If you descend from Taino people, that doesn't mean you're not black, because there were dark-skinned Taino, Arawaks, and Carib as well. You understand? My grandmother was a Carib Indian, and she's the same complexion as me. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
She's really, that's like I'm saying, she's really about division. If she's angry at the passport bros for the right reasons, I get it. I'll give her that. If it's just because she doesn't want to mingle with so-called blacks, that's a whole different ballgame. That's a whole different story.
Right. If I could, Priest, just real quick, I noticed, like, I was looking more at her, you know, her videos, and there was one video where she talked about being triracial, and she was embracing that Spanish blood. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because my thing is this: like, okay, I understand you not wanting to be called black, right? And you know, because you feel that being called black is erasing your indigenous identity. So why is it not the same attitude when it comes to being, you know, called a so-called Hispanic or so-called Latino? Because in the video, she was embracing the Spanish identity. She's saying, yeah. Then she charged somebody because they came at her about that. Because she even mocked them, saying, you know, talk about, oh my, you know, we're not mocking her because she says that she doesn't identify as a Spaniard. She's mocking the sister that came at her because the sister said, I don't identify as a Spaniard for what the Spaniards did. You know what I mean? So she's like, she wanted to erase that Spanish identity. She didn't say, you know what, don't ever call me a Spaniard because the Spaniards try to erase us. You know what I mean? And it goes back to something I said earlier, man, where it's this pushback and this outrage when it comes to Black Hebrew Israelites, when it comes to the Wabos, when it comes to the Aboriginal movement, right? And I said it like that purposely because you can understand there that you say that's a threat to your existence, but somehow you're not recognizing the threat to your existence from the other end, from someone that's literally trying to erase you. You know what I mean? I don't know, IR. You seen any videos of people coming at, you know, America for trying to erase indigenous people? You seen any videos of people saying, you know what, Planned Parenthood is indigenous erasure. LGBT, so let me say it, you know, right, because TikTok is sensitive. The Alphabet Gang is indigenous erasure. The drugs, pumping drugs into my reservation or my barrio, that's indigenous erasure. Locking up indigenous men in the prison system and you know, murdering them unarmed, that's indigenous erasure. I haven't seen not one profile yet, man. And Salaka, maybe I'm not looking hard enough. I'm not gonna charge a community and say they're not doing it, but I haven't seen it yet. But I have seen plenty of videos from pro-indigenous people charging the Wabo movement, charging the Aboriginal movement, talking about their erasing. How many times they come at us accusing us of erasing indigenous people because we tell you you're an Israelite? You know what I mean? That's what you know trips me out. Because I tell you, like, you think that's the threat to your existence? Meanwhile, there's a people that literally kill your next generation, that literally erase your next generation of indigenous people.
Right.
Yeah,
and I don't
they
see no fight back on that.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we're definitely not taking anything away. If anything, we're adding on to their roots. Because at one point when I came to the truth, I thought I took it all the way back. You know what I mean? Because I was studying my cultura and all that. You know what I mean? I thought I went all the way back since, you know, where I first started. But nah, we got more beautiful roots, and it goes all the way back to Israel. You know what I mean? It don't stop in Mexico. You know what I mean? Like, how did we come up with the idea of building the pyramids? You know, the royalty, the gold, the jade. I mean, like all that had to come from somewhere. You know what I mean? So, once you start going into the history books and start opening up the Bible, you're gonna find out that these people that you talk about, the Aztecs, the Mayans, and Native Americans, you're gonna find out that the Bible actually puts those pieces together, and you're gonna know that you're the children of Israel. You know what I mean?
Right. Hey, Salakia, if I may, I just want to add something about that indigenous erasure, right? and that sister having a problem identifying as black and embracing her conquistador side of the family, right? Because what she would say basically is at some point she said, "Oh, us Dominicans, we have our own culture, we have our food, we have our own language." First of all, listen, Dominicans, y'all speak Spanish just like Mexicans, y'all speak Spanish
Right.
like Colombians, like Puerto Ricans, Boricuas. You understand? Y'all are not making sense. You don't have your own language. Stop it. Stop the cap. That's not. Maybe because um you're proud of your conquistador family. You understand? If you actually descend from Spaniard, where I'm saying, the seed of your father and going back to your forefathers are Spaniards, I understand. That's your language. If not,
Right.
that's not your language. You understand? And talking about the food, I mean, I think there's bananas all over the islands. What are you talking about? You think like what do you think we call Mexican beaners? Because they like to eat beans. What are habichuelas? They're just sweet beans. What are you talking about? You
Right.
understand? You eat what? You eat fried fish? You eat platanos? Like name me a food that we don't do all over the islands. Like it's specific, Dominican. Well, you eat chicharrones? You think the only one who eat that? Not that we're supposed to, but you understand? I mean, what is authentic Dominican? Like, we could say, yo, tacos are Mexicans. I understand. Pupusas are Salvadorians, right? But what about like what's going on? You have what do they have to be like? It's strictly
Right.
Dominican. You understand? I'm not trying to take credit off of DR. You understand? Shout out to DR. Hey, you got my bridge in Sawab. You understand? Hey, Sawab, tell us Dominican dish. We need to know what is a specific a Dominican only dish that only Dominicans are making. You understand? Because the sister is saying, "Oh, Dominicans, we have our own food in our own language." We just disprove that you don't have your own language. Now, we have a so-called Simeonite, a so-called Dominican in the chat. Let's see what Dominican food that we got from DR. You understand? And my other point I want to make, talking about indigenous erasure, that sister had a video, right, saying, "Well, Taino Indians have straight long hair, have bangs, and this and that." It's impossible for people of Haiti to have been Taino Indians because they don't have the same hair texture whatsoever. You understand? They're too dark. You understand? To have been Taino Indians. Again, that is actually indigenous erasure. My grandmother is the same complexion as me, and she's a Carib Indian. Because basically, that sister is just saying like all the natives have the same skin tone and same hair texture, which is not true. You understand? Even like Ayar just said, when you go into the Bible, you see that's our history whatsoever, right? I'm just paraphrase. Israel is like a speckled bird. We come in multiple colors. The Jews are black unto the ground. We come from
Right.
light skin to dark skin. So ain't no such thing as Taino Indians looking. There's no like a specific physical or facial feature to identify a Taino, a Boricua, you understand, a Caribbean, Arawak Indian. Ain't no such thing. You understand? Like I said, los salvadoreños en mi bloque pensaban que soy cubano. You understand? My grandma is a Carib Indian. You understand? There's another backlash of a video of people that saying that Cardi B is not black. And
Oh, we got to go to
unlike
that one too.
that's why I'm trying to segue into that, because unlike that may or may not be sister, Cardi B is not denying like, yeah, I'm black. She's not saying I'm not black, I'm Dominican. She's actually saying I'm black. She's not denying her roots, basically. Unlike that maybe Spaniard baby.
Right.
Salakia.
No, you good. Let's go to that one, to the Cardi B video. Give me a second as I find it. You sent that to me via the messenger, right? Oh yeah, it's right here.
It should be in the messenger and on the
Yeah, I
Raza
got it.
messenger. Hey, TikTok, tap the screen, share the live everywhere. You understand? La Puraneta every single Monday.
Fucking.
Yes, indeed.
All right, we got it right here, priest. All right.
Okay.
You want to
And
put
they
a full
always want to
screen
raise
right
me
on?
when it's party's land. She's not black. And it's just like, bro, my features don't come from fucking white people fucking, okay? And they always want to raise bait when it comes to me. That's why I have Afro features. It's like, oh, but your parents are looking, your parents are this, all right, but my grandparents aren't. And my grandmothers, they're really, one of them, she's really like darker than me, and the other one from my mom's side, she's really, really dark. Because people from the Caribbean islands, it's like it's a mixture. The first places where the slaves were taken to, especially the Dominican Republic, it was one of the first places. And then they just be so confused and they want to dictate your race so bad, and it's like, bro, pick up a passport, pick up a book so you could fucking know.
I don't pause it right quick. Rock, y'all, I'm gonna start off with, and now I'm gonna start off with saying this, man. It's heavy that we always face this as a people, man. You know what I mean? Here's the thing. Here's a news flash for everybody, for so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. For the Raza, if you want to get technical about it, nobody is black. And what do I mean by that? Look at my sweater. Look at Officer Brachiala's beanie. Look at Ayar's sweater and his hat. Nobody is that color. People do not understand that the term black, right, is a term to define a condition,
Right.
and that it got changed, right? It got changed to mean to mean people that came from Africa. But before that, it was used on indigenous people. Indigenous people were called black. They were called niños de la or negros de la tierra, right? And if nobody
Right.
believes me, you can go look at, the brother brought it out, man. Officer Itazam brought it out. You know what I mean? And a Google, so use your Google machine and you'll see that. And the definition to the word black, it says referring to people of dark skin. You know what I mean?
The
Before it
Aztecs
says
did the same thing
someone
too.
coming from Africa or having,
Hmm.
quote unquote, Negroid features.
Hmm.
Black is just a term. It is not a race, man.
Right.
Not until recently it was deemed a race. You know what I mean? But before that, it was just a term to apply to people that had dark colored skin, that had brown skin. And it could have
Hmm.
been people from Africa. It was indigenous people from here because indigenous people were brown. You know what I mean? Are brown, dark brown, man. There's another video that I shared on the California page of an indigenous brother, and it shows how dark he is. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it doesn't automatically mean, that black meaning someone you have to have woolly hair and quote unquote black features, man. It was, you being indigenous or you being, a so-called African American. But before then, you know what I mean? Like now it just means everyone assumes that it just means people from Africa because of
Right.
our oppressor, man. He turned that term to cause confusion, you know what I mean? But ultimately, I say that to say that black is a color; it is not a race.
Right.
But
And
go
I was
ahead,
gonna
Hot.
say too, I want to send you this little this artist that's from Mexico, right? Doesn't even speak English. I'll send it to you right now so you can maybe later on post it. But I'll send you
Con.
a message right now. But and another thing I think our people are forgetting is that um they're not, these people that are talking about that I'm not this and I'm not that. A lot of these people are not even educated in their history.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're so stuck in colorism, white, black, white, black, white, black. You know what I mean? Not even knowing how our original people from our tribals, from our tribes, how they don't know how they actually look like.
Damn
You know
right.
what I mean? You see a brown brother that's dark of a brachyala, they don't think, oh, he's African. You know what I mean? Like a Latino just can't be dark skinned because he's from Africa. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't
Right,
know how our people actually looked like before the conquistadors came over here. We were dark skinned too. You know what I mean? If
right,
you, if you look at the Olmecs, you wouldn't tell the difference between Judah and and they all mix. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these people that are talking that I'm not this and I'm not that and I'm not African and I'm not, you know what I mean? They're all miseducated. You know what I mean?
It's just a lot, yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
right? I just want to add on what you just said, right? About the miseducation and misinformation among our people. First of all, to to shed some light on what Cardi B said, the people in the islands, nobody on the face of the earth is mixed. You are the seed of your father. That's number one.
Right.
Second, right? Just like Officer Ayar said, you understand? You didn't know what the people look like back then. So how could you say, oh, they all look dark skinned? Oh, they all look light skinned? Whatsoever. You understand? Oh, you Hispanics are mixed with Europeans and this and that because you're not the original people of the land. You're not dark skinned anymore. That colorism only plagues our people, because when you look at Ethiopians, for instance, there's dark skinned Ethiopians, there's light skinned Ethiopians, but they know who their father is. You understand? They know they descend from the seed of their father. And Salakia, I tagged Officer Malakman on another video, right? It's about a Somalian talk about how do you identify a Jamaican. You understand? There's Jamaicans who are born on the land that will be considered Jamaican because they have the citizenship. And I'm just going to paraphrase what he said, right? And he said, and for instance, for Somalians, if your dad is Somali, you understand? You are Somali. He was just trying to say you are the seed of your father, basically. You understand? That's how you will identify a person. Even the heathen knows that you are the seed of your father. Yet, just like Psalms and 83 say, they are here to create confusion and division among us. That's how they're able to oppress us. You understand? Because next thing you know, I would not think, oh, Ayar or Malagma is my brother. Why? Because we have a different skin tone. Or brothers that have a same skin tone as me may identify as being Africans when the Africans sold us and actually are our enemies. They're not our brothers. Let them sleep in the mud huts. I don't give a damn about them. You understand? But brothers like on the other side of the border, up till like the southern tip or South America, these are my brothers and sisters. You understand? Those on the African continent now, if they're not, because some of Israel went back over there, but those who are not Israel, those are not my brothers. All skin folk is not kinfolk. The East Indians know that from light skin to dark skin, they are all East Indians. You understand? It's another reason why the heathen nation, just like the Arabs, the Chinese, East Indian whatsoever, they will get mad at their son for marrying outside of his race, right? But when it comes to the daughter, they're ready to disown the daughter. Why? Because they know that the seed comes from the father. The seed comes from the man. Now that the Chinese daughter is marrying a East Indian man, that baby is not Chinese anymore. He's East Indian. You understand? And the nations, they know that. You understand? It should tell us something. You understand? There is no such thing as a mixed person. You are the seed of your father. Salakia.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. Yeah, you are the seed of your father. You know what I mean? And even like from like us and people in the ISUBK, we have Mexicans who are really light skinned. You know what I mean? We got Judites who are really light skinned. We got Gadites who are really light skinned. But you are the seed of your father. And the spirit bears witness. You know what I'm saying? Like you could tell, man, you could tell what tribe that a brother's from just by his spirit. You know what I mean? Some brothers got a, you know what I mean? You'll tell like, oh, that guy's kind of like, I don't know if he's Mexican or he might be Spanish, but just from his spirit, his characteristics, like, no, he's Mexican. Bro. I've seen that guy work before, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's Mexican. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, other one.
If I could, real quick, what I want to add is something that Brock Yala and you brought out, like what y'all got knowledge brought out, right? Is that as the scriptures say, right, it's a speckled bird. We come in various shades of brown. You know what I mean? And also, we are the only nation of people that think that because someone is lighter than me or darker than me, that's not my brother. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, you look at the other nations, like you said, they don't have that issue because you got Chinese that are various shades of brown. You got Arabs that are various shades of brown, East Indians that are various shades of brown. What is it? Africans, the Ethiopians. All the Ethiopians can agree that they all come from Kush. All the Arabs can agree that they come from Ishmael. You never hear a Arab say, "Oh, he's too dark. He's not an Ishmaelite," or "He's too light. He's
Right.
not. He don't come from Ishmael."
Mm-hmm.
But for
Right.
some reason, that problem plagues us. Whether you're so-called
Mm-hmm.
black, whether you're so-called Hispanic, whether you're so-called Native American, for some reason, if you're not dark enough, now all of a sudden you're not an Israelite.
Right.
If you're too light, you're not my brother. You're not a carnal.
Mm-hmm.
You're a light-skinned nigga. You're a
And if you're
dark-skinned
too
nigga.
dark,
You know
yeah,
what
if
I
you're
mean?
too dark, you're African.
You're mixed with Spaniard. You're this. You're that.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, that's a curse in the Bible. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That we will be in astonishment and a what is it? In a byword. You know what I mean?
Byword.
Because we will look at things. We will have the confusion of faces. And that's why the Bible, like in the Bible, it talks about you being the seed of your father, right in the book of Numbers, where it says they declared their pedigrees by the house of their fathers. And that's why it's in there, because, you know, everything happening to us right now, that's a curse. We're so confused. We're so lost. We think we're mixed. But now you got to just look at who your father was and you get your identity. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sir.
Go ahead.
Did you, Slaki, did you get the message that I sent you about the Mexican brother?
Khan, I had it right here. El Moreno Mexicano.
Right. That's my cousin.
Yeah, that's right. I'm related to that brother too.
It's my cousin, man.
And mi primo. For those who are on TikTok, we're showing you a brother
In Mexico.
in Mexico, in Moreno Mexicano. Remember, we're also streaming on YouTube, so go ahead, like, share, subscribe, you understand? Follow the host, follow the
Me
brand.
la paso tranquilo con la mirada arriba, pero siempre lucha cuidándome de la tira para cualquier problema. Mi flota está activa, la vida es un riesgo, eso siempre me motiva. Si te agarran de bajada, espero que no coopere. Ya sabes la regla, conoce los deberes. No hable de mí para que yo no me altere. O se unen, nos quitan, o si quiere, pues se muere. Me tachan de malandro por cómo yo ando. Me están traicionando los que me están rodeando. Traigo mi respaldo con lo que ando jalando, porque con mis hermanos siempre ando caminando. Vengo de la yeca, me junto con pocos, pensando en grande, yo nunca me equivoco. Las malas intenciones, homie, yo las noto. Los míos accionan, ellos son bien locos. No presumo de grandeza, eso no me interesa. Me acuerdo de mi pobreza, al chile a mí me pesa. Mi vida se pone tensa, mi madrecita en mí piensa, mi familia en mi riqueza. Ellos son mi fortaleza, yo soy mexicano, con orgullo lo digo. Nunca me olvido de donde yo he venido. Mi rosario lo traigo conmigo, me cuida de la envidia y de mis enemigos. Crecido en Guerrero, en el barrio más humilde. Volver a mi infancia lo tomo preferible. Jugar, ser feliz, sin importarme nada. Pero ya no somos niños, en la vida todo cambia. Respeto pa' mi familia y pa' todo mi clan. Los que por mí brincan, por ellos voy a brincar. No confío en aquellos que me brindan su amistad. Si quieres ser mi carnal, lo tienes que demostrar. La verdad es el arma de la gente honesta, por eso yo no miento, eso tómalo en cuenta. Con la mentira atacan los cobardes y con la traición todos los que son miserables. Yo, el moreno mexicano, hey.
That brother goes hard.
He goes hard, man. He goes hard. You know, shout out to that brother, man, El Moreno Mexicano. Shout out to you, carnal.
So like, if I could, I got another video I want to play real quick, man. Let me play this video real quick.
I told y'all, you my cousin. It runs in the family.
And you could tell, you know what I mean? It's just speaking of, you know, how the sisters were talking about features, man. You could tell that he ain't African.
Damn right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
You could tell he's Israel. You know, he looks just like a Mexican, just darker shade of brown. Even his Spanish, the way he raps is straight from Mexico.
They about to squabble these niggas.
Really kind of streets, all that good shit, you know what I'm saying?
One time?
Ooh. I'm from over, that's where I'm gonna go. Fuck being Mexican. Fuck all this bullshit that they be talking about. Because when I went in there, I seen like 2 black dudes from Playboys 13. Shit, I ain't got nothing to do with them. They ain't got nothing to do with me. You get what I'm saying? Go to jail, squabble up, bust a nigga down. It's regular. Ain't turning nothing down. Westside Hoover. They be tripping. You gotta be like, I'm tripping too. What's up with it? I'm a young nigga.
So you go to prison, you gonna still ride with the blacks?
Yup. I'm riding with Hoovers, bro. A couple of us too, bro. It's a couple of Hispanics from Hoovers. You gonna hear about it? I'm one of the ones though.
From the other Hispanic gangs, they look at you kind of crazy that you ride the blacks?
Yup. All the time. Because in Hispanic gangs, you gotta get permission to fight other motherfuckers, and you gotta do this and do that. Certain protocols, right? Nah. With us, we're gonna get straight to it. You from where? Oh, I'm from West Side Hoover's Hannon. We're gonna take it there, we're gonna take it there.
He coming in. Hey, that green truck moving. He busting the left too.
That Beamer?
That green truck. He finna bust the left.
In the front. Police in the front. Truck. They just went past.
I mean,
I put a video on the ISBK Raza. There was a brothers haven't seen it, man. American Cholo. He invited 2 Morenos, two blacks, onto a show called American Cholo. We have one brother called Mr. Keep It Hood. He's a Judite, but he grew around Mexicans.
Yeah, that nigga goes too.
And he's from a Mexican hood. And then there's another homie from the same barrio, again, Moreno, black, but he grew around Mexicans. And there's no problem because the Mexicans know that they're like this. You know what I mean? The color don't mean nothing. The spirit, you know what I mean? Like, this guy's my brother. You know what I mean? If the Mexicans feel that they want one of them, he wouldn't be in the gang.
That's heavy. You say that. Besides the video I played right now with the carnal from the Hoovers and shit, you know, he was saying how Raza didn't fuck with him, like didn't accept him because he kicked it with them. But you see how the Judite brothers embraced him and brought him in, and they didn't say, you too Mexican, you're not one of us. Nah, they embraced him and brought him in, and his spirit was like the Judite brothers.
Judite. He could have been a
rapper,
Judite.
Right? The Raza brought that carnal in, that Judite brother in, and that brother's spirit was like a Issacharite. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which comes to show you one thing, man. Like, let me say this: where's the erasure? Mexicans don't exist because of this situation. Black people don't exist because of that situation with the Hoovers. Like, I hope people see where this is going, man. You know what I mean? Like, we're related. Go ahead.
I want to say this. Really, when it comes down to erasure, it feels like it's not even pushed by our people in the first place, right?
Right.
It feels like Africans are trying to, you know, make us associate with them to make them look stronger. Mm-hmm. Just like you would have Spaniards or I'm just gonna say, you know, not to get canceled on TikTok, paleface trying to include the so-called Latino or the Native Indian community, be like, you know, hey, this is native erasure because there is no such thing as a dark-skinned native. You understand? We are all like white skin with straight hair. You understand? That's how it feels like, really. You understand? Because when you go to, like, you know, like when I went to Ecuador, the brothers told me, like, you look like you come from Esmeraldas. I'm like, where? Like, that's a city where all the majority of Black Ecuadorians are from, you know? But there's Black Ecuadorians all over the country. Mm-hmm. Like when you go to Colombia, I think Colombia, like, it's like, I think right next to Brazil with the most, like, Black people on the land, right?
If I could, real quick, you know how you mentioned Colombia? I got a video I want to send to my LACMA. You know how they, this is from the CNN News, they found a ship in Yucatan. That's Mexico. That's where the mines are at, right? They're saying that when the mines went into slavery, that they put them in ships and shipped them to Colombia.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I was telling Briacala, man, it's like the Mexicans, man. If we're not Issachar, then I'm if I ain't Issachar, then I'm Jamaican. If I'm not Jamaican, then I'm a Judite.
I know you're Jamaican.
You know what I'm saying? Like Mexicans were so close to by the other Caribbeans, man. It's like, and then we were shipped everywhere. You know what I mean? We're the first one to go into slavery, we're the first one to go on ships. Slakia, go ahead, Erdogan.
Damn right.
I can hear you, sir.
You're an Israelite. More importantly than anything, Carnal.
Right. Bottom
my
line,
Raza here is, man.
Yep.
We're telling you, we're not trying to erase your identity. We're giving you your the other part of your identity, which is that you're God's chosen people. You're the Creator's favorite people. And what we're showing is the proof as to how we're the chosen people, man. How we got style, how we got flavor, because you don't see nations across the earth copying any other group of people, man. If they're not trying to act like Mexicans, they're trying to act like they're black. If they're not trying to act like they're black, they're acting like Mexicans. Why do you think that is? Because both blacks and both Mexicans are God's chosen people. They're Israelites, man.
Damn right.
And that's what we're trying to say. I'm not telling you to stop being Lakota. I'm not telling you to stop being Navajo or being, whatever indigenous nation you identify with. Only thing I'm telling you is what your race is, man. Because all indigenous people, man, agree from North America to South America, indigenous people are one nation. Well, who's that nation? I'm telling you who that nation is. That's the nation of Israel. And I know part of the problem is that everyone thinks when you hear Israel, when you hear Jew, when you hear Israelite, you automatically think Jewish. You automatically think Israeli. No, it's not those people, man. It's not the so-called white man. You're God's chosen. You're the Creator's chosen people, man. And the proof that you're the chosen people, you want to ignore all the other things, is in the fact that as to how your style is admired, how you give flavor to everything, how the earth would run if you had control of it. That's the proof that you're the chosen people, Raza, indigenous man and woman.
Man, there is a video of American. If I could real quick, before you press play, there's another brother that jumped on American Cholo, and American Cholo tells that brother, if you could pick one, either would you consider yourself a black rapper? Do you consider yourself a hustler or a gangster, a gangbanger, or a cholo? What do you consider yourself to be? He says, I'm cholo. You know what I mean? Like, this is a brother saying, he's like, I ain't this, I ain't that. I'm cholo. You know what I mean? That's crazy to me, man. That's crazy to me. Man, there's another rapper called El Black Sureño. Man, there's so many blacks in our
El Compa Negro.
El Compa Negro. We got King. What's that black brother?
King Link.
King Link. He says he's a black Sureño. He's like, man, I ain't black. I'm Mexican.
Let me share a story real quick of a brother I knew in the world, man. I was in the world, man. And I met this cat. I thought he was a Judite. And he was gonna rep some Crip hood. Nah, man, he was from a Sureño hood. And he was, you know what I mean? He was talking like a vato. He wasn't talking like, like Jake talks. You know what I mean?
Sir.
That threw me off. But then when I saw the speed on that carnal, it's like, yeah, he's a vato. He's not, he's not a Crip. He's not a blood. You know what I mean? He loves the Raza. I mean, he is the Raza. You know what I mean? Like,
sir, I had
the darkest shade of brown.
That's right. I had a best friend named Keith. Right? He's like the middle brother. He's Judah all the way, but he loved the Cholo music, man. He loved the SA Southside music. You know. His older brother walked in.
Real quick.
He's walking towards the house.
Hey, IR, hold on, carnal.
Real quick, I just want to say, hey, Shalom, Adawan. We have Kazak Ahmad in a TikTok. Tuwada for tuning in, Adawan. You understand?
Hey, Shalom, sir. From Christ.
So this brother's walking in, right? And I'm thinking, hey, homie, we got a homie coming up. This guy was bald headed. He had a slingshot, Dickies, socks all the way up to his knees, rocking Cortezes. And Keith goes, oh, that's my brother. Keith is black, but his older brother was straight cholo. He had big SUR, big old 13 in his bag, big old 13 in his head. You know what I mean? And he's a Moreno from Moreno. He's a Moreno from Moreno Valley. You know what I mean? Straight cholo.
Salaki, just real quick, to Officer Kazak Ahmad, Salaki, sir. I mean, we titled the show Raza Talk, but really we're kind of freestyling. But right now we're talking about how black and brown, you know what I mean, get down with each other. You know what I mean? Like even while in the world, you got you got Judite brothers that kick it with Issachar and act like Issachar, and then you got Issacharite brothers that kick it with Judites and act like Judites, and it just comes to show how black and brown are related. How we're, you know what I mean? How the spirit bears witness as to how we're the same people.
Right. We're basically saying that there's really no differences between one another, man. He's either a Mexican that he might look Mexican, but he might have spirit of Judah. Vice versa. This brother look like a Judite, but he might have the spirit of Issacharite. Like right now, I'm talking about my boy. You know, he's black, but his older brother, straight cholo. I mean, to the fullest. But he's black.
Right, and that's heavy, IR.
Salakia again.
We got Officer Kazak Ahmad. He wants to share. He wants to share with us.
Where I don't want this on Facebook or on YouTube.
He's on the TikTok.
On the TikTok. Us too, sir. Salakia.
Nosotros también.
Are we waiting for somebody else?
Yeah,
IR on the StreamYard, so where he's on the YouTube and you're on the TikTok other one, Salakia.
Well, you should tell him get on the YouTube so everybody else can tune in. Because I can't hear nothing.
Okay. I don't want to say you gotta get on the TikTok. You gotta get your TikTok thing up.
Hold on.
That's where we are, TikTok and Clubhouse.
Let's see. All right, go ahead, sir. Share experience.
Right.
Damn.
What's the deal, other one?
Okay, we hear you, other one. Right.
I'm talking about, like, I hung out with that's all I hung out with all throughout middle school.
One second. You might want to check your audio.
It's better now.
Salakiado.
Can you hear me now on the TikTok?
I don't want to join YouTube.
No, you're muted on the TikTok, but we hear Upset Kazaka. He's speaking right now.
Okay. Most time Christ.
Just tell the other one to join the YouTube. They can be in on all the platforms.
Let me send.
So that one is Mr. Malagma is going to try to send you on your messenger the StreamYard link, like that you could be on both platforms if you can. But if not, it's the wild bottle one. Well, I'm using 2 phones, that's why I'm on both platforms. Right. I remember that thing. Right. Yeah, hey, Salakia, the one. Hey, I'm a Benjamite, so we love spicy food. But Mexicans sometimes they put spice on stuff that we would not put, like Salakia, the one. They put spice in chocolate. They put spice on candies. Benjamin, we don't do that. I don't want Salakia. Hey, right. Chola. Salakia, the one. I'm gonna say una chulita. Right.
What's going on, other one? I can't hear you.
Karawakan. And Salakia, the one. Just to add on what you're saying, because my experience with the so-called what we call Latino brothers today, right, is pretty much the same as yours. I mean, I had nothing but love for and from the Latino brothers and sisters. You understand? Just growing up, right? There was never a sense of division with me. Even the high school that I used to go to, at some point, it was like kind of segregated. You had the Arabs going together, the so-called Benjamites, in their corner, the Mexicans in their corner, whatsoever. But really, when we came down to it, like my best friend is like Peruvian. You know, he's from Peru. He's Asherite. You understand? Like I have a video that I posted, right, about one of my Mexican brethren. We call him El Mijo. You know, he said, yeah, yo, Mexicans we're brothers, and you know, just not to get canceled on TikToks, you know, we're N-words, we're brothers, you know. I'm like, damn right. You know, we grew up together up till now. It's like he calls me all the time, you know, it's like we hang out with you're just family. You understand? He's like, if I ever go to Mexico, I mean, all his cousins are finna be my ribs. He always jokes like that, but you know, it's like, you know, we're family. I mean, there was no sense of division, even with the other Latinos I met, whether they're cholos or not. You understand? There's that sense of unity that we have. You understand? Some of them, they may be like, I mean, where I'm at, it's really rare where you would see a sense of division in Montreal amongst the so-called Northern and Southern Kingdom, really. But we have we have good unity. Even like I was saying earlier on the show, the Salvadorian brothers on my block, they think I'm Cuban. I told them I'm not Cuban. The fact that I told them I'm not Latino, it didn't create any, division whatsoever. You understand? They speak to me in Spanish all the time. And the other brother, like, he owns what's the thing there? Not the pupusas. He owns and I eat that thing all the time. I forget what's it called.
The
No, the
gorditas,
empanada shop, right?
the
The
empanadas.
empanada shop. He tells me, "Don't speak to me in English or French. Speak to me in Spanish. I'll make sure you're Latino." That's what he says to me all the time. You know, so I mean, that sense of division really comes from our oppressor, right? Just like you were saying, because even the colorism is like it's not necessarily it's pushed by us, but we get it from the oppressor in the sense where how even that indigenous erasure is more like so-called pale face, so like a TikTok, so-called pale face are trying to infiltrate the so-called native community and the Hispanic community, los conquistadores, and say, there is no such thing as a dark-skinned native or a dark-skinned, Mexican whatsoever. We're all supposed to be light, and the dark-skinned are not natives. And for us, like dark-skinned brothers like Judites and Benjamin, it's like, oh, we are Africans. There is no such thing as a light-skinned African. If you're light-skinned, if you're light-skinned Benjamin or Judah, you must be mixed. That's really the narrative that our oppressor is pushing among us. And because, we influence the world, they're using us to push that narrative at the end of the day.
What's going on?
Salakia, you couldn't hear me, IR?
No, I'm trying to find out what's is the other one going to jump on or what's going on?
I think he's waiting on Officer Malakma to send him the link on Messenger because he's still on the TikTok.
All right, no sweat.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking on TikTok.
Salaka, no, because Officer Kazaka Imad just received the invite.
No, I got that, but I thought earlier I wasn't paying attention because I thought you were talking to the other one.
Can you hear me?
Where you at, other one?
Shalom, what's up?
Hey, Shalom,
Yeah, no, you missed out part of what I was saying because it's on TikTok. But I was saying, pretty much I there's so much love for so-called Hispanic people.
Where's the cam, other one? Where you at?
Oh, my bad.
He's on audio, IR.
Oh, no.
Hello, can you hear me?
He's on the audio right now.
All right, come. If you could, other one, is there a way you can get on the cam?
Oh, give me 1 second. Hold on. Is that me with the feedback?
No,
Yes.
it might be. Is it?
Right,
I don't.
How about now?
You sound suave.
Okay, let me see.
Okay, there we go. Most High Christ.
Well, there we go. All right. Oh yeah. Okay. Was good out of one. Shalom, Yahaba Shem Shah Barakatah.
Yeah, but now I was saying earlier,
Mm-hmm.
I got so much love for the Hispanic brothers. That's who accept when many Judaizers accept me. I went into stereotypically into. I'm saying that like Jim Muhammad, that's what you know, the Hispanic brothers
right
are warriors, just like and that's the truth. And I can in my experiences how it is. A lot of times where a lot of many of the brothers that we came up with, it's just a lot more tougher than a lot of things. So even if your experience haven't been good, regardless, we still have. There's brothers that have terrible experiences and vice versa. Terrible brothers that had terrible experiences.
Salakia out of one. You're in the matrix, Salakia.
Yeah.
Salakia out of one. Are you both on both platforms on the same device?
Let me see. It shouldn't be.
Yeah, you sound like you're in the matrix out of one, Salaki.
Hey, no sweat. I'm gonna end the live on TikTok and I'm gonna start it just now.
How about now?
That's better out of one. There we go.
It's better.
Oh, sir.
Yes, Lucky. Yeah, I'm not good with this technology shit. I can, but
no sweat out of one.
I was saying like the Hispanic brothers, man, just always in my experience has been real thorough. You know what I'm saying? Always treated me with brotherhood. Always accepted me. You know what I'm saying? Always. That's why, like I say, I moved around a lot, but during my entire time in middle school, that's who I hung with. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all I knew. So I got to, see a little deeper into the Hispanic and Latino culture more than most Judites. And like Barack was saying, the only reason why we have that division between us is because of our oppressor. You know what I'm saying? Like you can look at Haiti and the Dominican Republic on the same island, literally the same people, two different tribes, but there's beef between them. So you got to ask yourself, how did that beef start? And then you go to the root of it. Like it says in Maccabees, these oppressors are the root, are the author of all of our mischief, man. And it's a shame because the oppressor knows if blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans come together, there's nothing that we can't do. You know what I'm saying? We can literally do everything or anything. And that's why they were divided. So, you know what I'm saying? So I just want to say shout out to Malakma, Ayar, all the Hispanic brothers and sisters, man. I got a lot of love for y'all. You understand? Especially y'all coming into the truth. It's on a deeper level now because we understand that, you know what I'm saying? Not only is it that we good friends, but now we understand like we brothers, we blood. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Hey
man, it feels good that we have a brother that actually bonded and socialized and hung around with the Iskarites. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing, man. I mean, just like the Ottoman was saying, man, there's nothing that we cannot do when we're together because the whole world wants to do what we do anyways. You know what I'm saying? They either want to act black or they want to act Mexican, man. But the beautiful thing about the ISBK is that it's a blender between all tribes. You know what I'm saying? Which makes one West. You know what I'm saying? So. Hey, man, shout out to all the Judites in school, too, you know what I'm saying, and all around the world.
Most High Christ.
But, hey, Salakia, we have a few more. I think we have 2 more topics to touch on. You understand?
What we got?
We got, La Raza being her. Salakia, also Malagma, you're muted, or we don't hear you.
So like you can't hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Most High in Christ. Like you just had my mic muted, but yeah. So next topic we're gonna touch on was George Lopez's his I guess you could say his lack of brotherhood for not wanting to support a brother and talking down on the brother. So we could touch on that one, and then we can go into that incident, in at San Diego State University where the Edomite women did what they did to that street vendor. You know what I mean? So yeah, let's go to that real quick.
What everybody sipping on?
Hey man, we're going on the Modelo. It's Modelo time.
Modelo.
Yeah.
What we got, Barack, man?
Tequila,
Yeah.
sir.
Una,
We got Barack Corona.
la chela última y un poco de whisky también.
Oh shit, he didn't know what this.
Pero en mi última chela para la noche tengo solo un poquito de whisky también.
Well, shit, I'm about to give me some of this E&J. I keeps it gangster.
See, that's some real Mexican shit. You see how I open that chela?
Hell yeah.
Yo, I swear, my nigga mijo opened the chela when the machete I have in the house. My nigga mijo opened a chela with what? With a screw, not a screwdriver, with a screw. I was like, good night.
It's Modelo time.
Modelo time.
What one with Jorge Lopez.
Juan.
No, so let's go into the let's go into that situation with the Edomite women attacking the street vendors. Let's talk on that one first.
The dogs?
Just fine. Yeah, the dogs, because that is crazy. It just comes to show how you know how these Edomites are, man, and how entitled they act.
Right.
Which is crazy because you know what I mean. Like we're always told, right? Like whether you black or brown, and you get mad about you know the way this country treats you, all of a sudden you're told you can't be mad about it. That you're not entitled to anything. You know, when blacks and Hispanics, so-called blacks and Hispanics, raise awareness about a situation, the white man always wants to come and tell you you're not entitled to anything. Meanwhile, I never met a group of people who ever acted more entitled than so-called white people, man.
Damn right. And Salakia, and it's crazy because even those who may say, oh, I'm Caucasian, I don't believe in white supremacy, I don't believe in white privilege, I'm not entitled. You don't have to believe in it to benefit from it. That's what they don't understand.
Right. They want to believe in it because, you know what I mean? Like, it shakes their reality, man.
Not only that, Ottawa, I mean, they have the choice whether they want to believe in, you know, the ideology or not. We don't have a choice.
Right.
We just live it. You understand? And we don't have a choice but to live in the hell that we're living in.
Right. But here goes the video. Salakia.
Yeah, my special guest might jump on too. He's a Dominican brother.
Does it have sound?
It's like you couldn't hear the sound out of one?
I sent you the TikTok on your messenger if you want to play the TikTok video itself.
Con, priest. Let me get it. Just I couldn't find it a second ago. Let me see if I can find it.
If it's not on your messenger, it's on La Raza messenger.
Con.
And for that special Dominican guest, maybe we should have kept the Dominican story.
We can come back to it.
Yeah, we'll just come back to the thing.
All right, priest. Let me see.
It's gonna be a long night.
No, so this is that Dominican sister.
The night just started. It's only been an hour.
We don't know if she's actually a sister. That's why I'm saying maybe not, because she likes that Spanish side of her.
Which it just trips me out. You know what I mean? So Barack, y'all, I couldn't find the video. You could send it to me again, and I'll play it. But meanwhile, we'll play this one real quick. So look at this, man. Look at these mics. So he's putting, you know what I mean? But they was touching his food. And these are the women.
Have you seen that Asian lady?
Which one?
There's an Asian lady that knocked one of the stands over in
oh God! If you could send me that one and I'll play that one, priest. But let me say this, man. It just comes to show you the power of social media, the power of the internet, where people don't realize that what you do, man, don't think that what you do doesn't get tracked back and come back to you, man. Like
Right.
their sorority was named. These women were identified. I went on the San Diego State University page, man, and I clicked on one of their pictures, and on the comments, everyone's calling them out. You know what I mean? Which is, in a sense, it's a good thing because you know what I mean. It helps, expose people that do wrong. You know what I mean? So it's crazy to see how these people do this, and my question is like, what are you think? What's going through your mind, like to think that you could do this, and you get recorded, and you don't think you're gonna suffer any backlash from this? You know what I mean?
Hey, Salak, if I may, too, mighty man, I can
Go
tell you
ahead.
exactly what they're thinking. They understand inherently that America hates blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, the
Right.
12 tribes of Israel. And we are the only people that you are allowed to mistreat, that you are allowed to make fun of, to harass, to commit acts of violence against with no recourse. Because everybody comes to America, no matter what race. Even the video you're about to play of this Asian woman, doesn't matter what race you are. Every immigrant group comes to America, and they fall under the banner, the ideology of white supremacy. And the ideology of white supremacy is not to hate people of color. It's to hate blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. That's who it's meant to destroy. And that's why you can see them act like savages. You know, as all the stereotypes we try to portray about the brothers and sisters that's coming across the border. This is not how our brothers and sisters you coming across the border act. You understand? Look at these savages. Like, you live a life of wealth. You go to a university. You would think that you have more class than this, that you would have more sense, that you were raised, you had more home training than this. There's a bunch of goddamn dogs, man. And I'm glad I'm on TikTok because I can speak frankly. It's a bunch of goddamn dogs, man. That's who they are. And to treat people who are honest and hardworking like that, it shows just how much of a savage and barbarian you are. And we should have never loved them or sought to join them. So,
damn right.
Absolutely.
That's heavy. You dropped that, sir. Absolutely. So yeah, let me play the video.
Yeah, I can't find it. I don't know if they took it down or what.
They say they're not doing anything. Damn, straight touched the spoon. Look at that. Good. That is disgusting.
That's another brother's gonna have to throw the whole food away because it's been contaminated.
That has been contaminated. You know them women, man. They don't, where they've been, or you know what I mean. So that food is more than contaminated, man. Good night. But that is crazy, man. That these women did that, and like Officer Kazakama brought out, man. They do that because they think they can get away with it. They think that it's okay to treat so-called blacks and Hispanics that way. Who was it? Like, I don't know. I was listening to a class, and someone was bringing out that these oppressors from the womb, right? They believe that it's okay to act this way, man. You know what I mean? I think I was listening to Let It Be Known radio, and they were talking about the incident in Philadelphia with the Catholic school girls, and how one was painting her face black, and they were doing that online, right? And that it shows that from the womb, from their kids, they think it's okay to act that way, to treat people that way, man. Which is crazy. It comes to show who these people are. And then you got Christians that want to say, you know what I mean, that these aren't the Edomites. But you see the way they behave, that's the proof that they are who they are, man. They are the descendants of Esau, man.
It's not even the fact that, okay, because the reason they think they could get away with it is because even if they get caught or they get reprimanded for whatever, hateful act they do, the reprimand is going to be considered like a slap in the wrist. Like, if these dogs in the video get reprimanded, they're going to be put on timeout. They're going to get a slap in the wrist. You understand? That's it. There's not going to be any serious repercussions on them. You understand? That's why it's like, even if we get caught, if we get exposed, Like, we don't care. It's not gonna change the way we see things. It's not gonna change the way we act toward Hispanic people. Like, daddy's gonna confiscate my car for a month, and I'm gonna get it back, and it is what it
You're
is.
not gonna right. You're not gonna lose a job. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna lose your means of what is it? Your means of income, how you survive because of this incident. Meanwhile, things like this happen to like you got situations where so-called blacks and Hispanics, aren't allowed to get jobs and aren't allowed to do this just for simply stepping foot out the house and simply fitting the profile. You know what I mean? And get
Damn right.
searched. And you're carrying a gun because you in the world, you don't know no better, so you're carrying that gun to protect yourself, and you that's it, man. You get that felony on your record. It's hard to get a job. It's hard to make an income, get a job. Meanwhile, these oppressors do worse things, and they're let off with a slap on the wrist, man, which is just crazy, man. And here's the interview right that we got with the guy. So already you're getting the reason why this argument's happening is over the price of the food for the hot dog. Good night, man.
Why don't you go to Taco Bell then? That's white people food.
Right. That's GMO Mexican food.
That's dog food. Slakia, when there's no sound to the interview.
Nah, hold on. Slakia. Oh, okay, hold on. Let's start over.
Pero pues aquí estoy viviendo yo en San Diego.
Wow. Entonces dime que la muchacha te decía que no quería pagar $7 por el auto y ese es tu precio, ¿no?
Sí, ese es mi precio y pues ellas por sus huevos quieren que se los dé más baratos. Yo digo, ¿por qué te voy a regalar mi trabajo? Les digo, si no quieres pagar, adelante, ve a comer a otro lado, no sé, haz lo que tú quieras, pero pues no me molestes más. Es lo que yo les decía.
Sí. ¿Y por cuánto tiempo te estaban ahí molestando?
Estuvieron como 40 minutos, se me hace poco.
40 minutes harassing this man.
Lo único que querían es llamar la atención de las demás personas, yo creo. No sé qué querían, la verdad. Yo creo que ni siquiera estaban ahí por los hot dogs, aunque se los hubiera regalado, hubieran seguido haciéndome un desmadre. Entonces, conseguí ese lugar, ya tengo como, yo creo que unos 6 meses en ese lugar, y ahí sí no me molestan, la policía todo bien, me deja hacer ahí, la ciudad, los maestros, los alumnos, ya todos me conocen.
Go ahead,
If I'm not mistaken, he's been there like for like what 6 months or so on the same spot. He doesn't bother nobody.
Right.
He never had problems with nobody. All of a sudden, the dogs start barking and touching up the food, with the dirty paws, and there's the issue.
Right. From what he's saying at the beginning, he said that they were mad about the price of the hot dog, that because it was $7 a hot dog. So these, and this is why, man, the oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of, because let a Mexican sell you a hot dog for $7, all of a sudden it's a problem, man. Meanwhile, these are the people that go and gentrify your neighborhoods. These are the people that move in to your ghettos and your barrios, and the price of everything goes up. You know what I mean? Because of them. But they mad about $7 on a hot dog. Good night, man. That's what trips me out at. Is like you got the money. Like, what you mad about, man? And the man is making it for you right in front of you. You see the food's being made right there. You saying he's not worth the $7?
There goes his tip, right?
Right. And it comes to show you who acts entitled, man. Nobody acts more entitled on this planet than oppressors. You know what I mean? Man. Nobody complains more on this planet than oppressors. But let a so-called black or Hispanic be angry about their oppression, and these oppressors will tell you, oh, you're complaining too much. You're not entitled to anything. You got to pick yourself up by your bootstraps. But charge them $7 for a hot dog and see if they don't complain. See if they don't act entitled. As this video just demonstrated, man. That's
brother.
crazy to me.
And it's like if I may too, like you said, it's so heavy. You got to remember, these are people that this isn't about the money. This is about, to them, we're the slaves, and they feel that they are entitled to whatever we have and whatever we own, and it speaks volumes to who they are. You understand? $7 is a lot when you expect when you think you still own a people, or you think these people belong to you, and what their work and the fruits of their labor, it belongs to you. So to them, $7 is a lot. You understand? And it just shows that they don't view us as equal, and we shouldn't seek to be viewed as equal. We should seek to be over these people. We should seek power, and the way we do it is come to the ISUPK and joining our brothers and sisters. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have to come together. If not, we will be the slaves to these people. That's the only other option. There is no other option outside of coming together in righteousness and the ISUPK. Outside of that, we're slaves who get no respect, who get no dignity as people.
Damn right, out of one. That's heavy. You dropped that, sir, because man, like it comes to show like go ahead, IR.
No, I was gonna say, if I could, I don't want to lock you. We're not equal to these heathens, man. If anything, if somebody's superior is us, you know what I mean? We're the salt of the earth, man. You know what I mean? The whole world wants to do what we're doing. I mean, there's no equal. Everything we do what better than them. You know what I mean? Salakia.
Nah, that's heavy. You dropped that, IR, if I could, because it just crushes the whole lie of equality. That's what America pushes: equality, equality, equality. You know what I mean? When they don't even believe in that, man. I think there was everybody knows who Jane Elliott is. You know, that white woman that teach, made the statement about all white people being racist, and she cut them when she said, like, she did an experiment in the classroom. She said she asked all the white students, like, if you want to trade places with black people, raise your hand. And she saw that no student wanted to raise their hand. And she said she crushed that whole lie. Like, nobody want. If equality really exists, then why isn't any of the students raising their hand? You know what I mean? Because nobody wants to trade the place. Equality does not exist. These oppressors do not want to lose their spot. You know what I mean? That's why, like, Salai, if I could, IR and Ottawa and Officer Brock Yala, you know what I mean? Like, that's why we get so much, you know what I mean? So much pushback while we're at camp, while we, push this truth. That's why these oppressors, right? Especially when you got, the likes of Vocab Malone and every Christian pastor. That's why they try to do so much to try and debunk us, because they can't sleep at night from what we teach. They can't sleep at night knowing the fact that we are, you know what I mean? Like, that what they believe in is a lie, that equality does not exist, that God has a favorite people and they're not it. You know what I mean? It doesn't sit right with them. They can't live with that. So they have to do whatever they can to debunk us, so that to try and debunk us, which they never will succeed, but so that they can sleep good at night. They had to think that we're crazy. They had to believe that we're lying, because otherwise it shakes their soul. And that's what the whole thing is with these oppressors, as you brought out, sir, that they knew that that this street vendor is above them, that he's better than them, and he's charging them the money. They, the right price. He could have charged them more. He could have charged them $14 for that hot dog if he wanted to. But he, you know what I mean? They knew in their mind, in their soul, that, dang, he's right, I should pay that money. But I cannot let him know that he is above me. So let me remind him of where his place is in America. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So that's heavy what you brought out, sir, because that is what it is. These oppressors know what they are. What the scriptures say, paraphrasing, right? That he knows, but he has but a short time. Like, that's the pride of Esau. They know they have a short time. They know their time is up, man. And there's gonna come a time when the roles are gonna switch, and they're gonna be on the bottom, and they can't bear it.
That's right. And that time is coming faster than you think because of the ISUPK under Commander General Yohana, because of brothers like Malak, brothers like Baraki Allah, brothers like Ayar, brothers like you understand, all these brothers are all across the earth that are Black, Hispanic, and Native American, and that are changing the narrative, that refuse to now be divided by this oppressor. And you can see exactly why they would divide us, because really, when you look at it, not only are we family, but before we even knew we were family, we had a common enemy. You know what I'm saying? Like I always understood that. You understand? And that's one thing about the Mexican brothers that I hung out with all throughout middle school. They wasn't no Uncle Tom niggas. Like they understood that the white man was the devil. Even in the world, we never said it like that, but we had an understanding. Like, yeah, we don't fuck with them. You understand? Like they were true to La Raza. You understand? And they were true to that shit. And I always loved that loyalty that they had. And they understood, you understand, what many of you Uncle Tom and so-called educated, big-headed Negroes don't understand. The oppressor is the devil, and you cannot reason with him. You should not seek to be equal with him when God says you are better than them in every way. You understand? What profit to be a Jew? Chiefly in every way. You understand? Like we are better than them in every way you could think of. Those white women aren't worth shining the shoes of Hispanic sisters. And guess what? Of heaven, you're going to see that reality. You're going to see it. They're going to be shoe shiners. Not on my plantation, because I don't want to see white people on my plantation. I'm going to have a coal mine on my plantation. Yeah, listen, there you go, y'all. Listen, not even the outskirts. I'm going to have a coal mine underground. They're going to eat and sleep and work in the same place. I don't want to see you. Since you love the caves so goddamn much, that's where all the Edomites on my plantation will be. You understand? And you'll know then we're not the same. We're not equal. So lock it. I gotta let a brother to fantasize every now and then. What to look forward to.
So like I'll be like, I don't want smallpox or herpes on my boots, man. So nah, you don't have to shine them, man. You just go ahead and oh shit, you dropped on no sweat. I mean, I don't want germs on my shoes, so yeah, I won't let these oppressors do that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Just like the other one said, man. I don't want no heathen on my plantation. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be living there, but I do want to be on time when it's time to work. You know what I'm saying? Because if not, I want to send the what are those guys called? Where when a slave runs away or whatever, they send these horsemen.
Oh, to go take a slave patrol.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't want to be living on my plantation, but they got to be on time. Because there's a knot, 20 lashes each one.
That's right. He's gonna slave the slave catchers after them.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
Malakma too. I caught what you said right before my phone dropped on it. Hey, listen, I don't want no herpes. I don't herpes or none of that on my boots either, brother. That, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like my boots are gonna be worth 10 Edomite slaves. So you know.
That's big money right there.
Only big money.
You know them with that shit. They have contaminated the poor brother's food, man. Because you know them women get around, man. Good night. There's some sorority white women. Good night.
Hey, shit.
Right.
Hey, if I may, too, brother, I want to touch on something real quick too. Just another point, because I'm seeing this more and more too, and this is for a lot of you. This is mainly the brothers, you understand? And once again, we don't pander to women. We don't pander to men in the ISUPK. We teach the truth. The truth is good for everybody, and it applies to everybody. But we got to be honest about certain things. And this is something that brothers, Black, Hispanic, and Native American brothers, have always struggled with more than the sisters. A lot of you Uncle Tom, coward, weak niggas love to go get these oppressors as women, and you think you got a prize because you got a white woman, and you white woman decides to lay down with you, and you think in your mind that somehow if we can continue to mix the races, we can breed out racism. Nigga, you think you're the first person to think of that? We've been saying that same nonsense 200 years ago. Well, maybe if we can have more mixed children, we can mix with white people. We can stop racism. Let me help you. Thomas Jefferson had children with Sally Hemings, is a black slave. Thomas Jefferson right now has melanated white kids running all throughout Virginia. You understand? It didn't stop him from hating niggas. He slept with a black woman, and he raped that woman, but you understand, he was actively sleeping with her and many other black women slaves. That didn't stop his hatred for black people. He had children that looked like black people. That didn't stop his hatred for black people. We got to get it out of our minds that joining them and having sex with them and taking marriages and making covenants with them is going to erase the hatred that the Lord put in them. The Bible says, who can make straight what the Lord have made crooked? There's no amount of sex and children that's going to change their hatred. And you are a fool and an idiot to think now because you got one in your bed, you're making the world better. You are the problem, nigga. You the problem. Because now you now feed into the idea that we're equal. When you lay down with these dogs, you make these white women become even more bold. And that's why you see a lot of these white women, they feel comfortable speaking on black and Hispanic issues. Well, my husband's Hispanic. My husband's black. Bitch, excuse me. You understand? That doesn't mean that you're not qualified to speak on what our issues. You understand? Right. Husband is a Uncle Tom nigga. You understand? He's not qualified to speak on our issues. Brothers, we have to stop sleeping with these other races of women. We have to come back to our own sisters. You can get as many as you got 12 tribes to choose from. Like, goddamn, you got 12 flavors to choose from. Why do you have to go get the barnyard animal? Get you a sister. These 12 tribes. Shit. You understand? And build our nation. So lock it.
I mean, I'd rather have enchiladas, carne asadas, burritos, flautas, chile rellenos, than mac and cheese and pork sandwiches. You know what I'm saying?
The oxtails, Barakiala.
Hey, Salakia, I'm Benjamin, but I'm Jamaican though. Salakia.
Well, listen, we attribute that to Benjamin, so y'all can take credit for it regardless.
I don't mind taking the credit, you know, but it's like, you know, to all the Uncle Toms and Tio Tomas, listen, instead of getting the carne asada, you better go to Taco Bell. Make it make sense.
Good night, man.
Go get some asada, you understand? Go get some taco de mole, you understand? Frijoles refritos, you understand? Empanadas con queso, cebolla, you understand? Get you that. Don't go to Taco Bell and get stomach cancer, because that Taco Bell, right, that dog you're sleeping with, you're gonna get the soul cancer. You understand? You're gonna be surprised that you have high blood pressure and you're not even eating anything unlawful. You understand? You're sleeping with a goddamn dog. That's bestiality. That is unlawful.
Right. If I could, Brock Yalla and IR and Officer Kazakama be like, you know what? Kratz is trading the carne asada and the jerk chicken for parsnips and unseasoned chicken, unflavored food, man.
So you mean it's like that one? You mean to try and tell me that brothers would rather trade good, seasoned, spicy, sweet fried chicken for raw chicken?
Right.
Brothers,
that's a mental illness. I'm telling you, like, and really, what y'all brothers are saying, we joking, but y'all being priests and prophets, you don't understand what you're saying is so spiritual, because in the spiritual realm, that's really what's going on. You looking at niggas, like, to put it in the physical. If you were to see a grown man take a chicken and thaw it out, open a package and eat that chicken raw, you would say, this nigga's crazy. This man has a mental illness. He's sick and he's disgusting. That's what you do when you take these heathen women. And so what y'all saying is absolutely true. Why wouldn't I not get fried chicken? Why wouldn't I not get, you know, a carne or some pollo? You know what I'm saying? Pollo arroz. So like, my Spanish is not good, I can, you understand? But you know what I'm saying? Why would you not
pollo con arroz?
Right.
Pollo, yeah.
You understand? Like, why would you choose the raw chicken? Why would you eat that over what you should eat? And the only reason why somebody would is because they are sick. They are absolutely sick and demented in the mind. And that's what the white supremacy does. It's a sickness. You understand? And we fighting that in the IHPK.
Damn right, sir.
Damn right. I mean,
We don't want Rachel Ray's pozole up in here, man. I know everybody's seen that video of Rachel Ray making pozole, man. That looked disgusting.
Trash.
I don't want no bloody ass asada, man. I don't want no rare asada. You know what I mean? I want
Right.
my shit to be asada. You know what I mean? Real well done.
Right.
That's right.
Right. Because Salakia. Yeah, we got the next topic, which is George Lopez. So this is the whole issue right now. You know what I mean? What's popping on the internet with the Raza. You know what I mean? When it comes to George Lopez. So he's getting a lot of backlash. Now, this is a clip from another podcaster by the name of American Cholo. You know what I mean? And he's talking about George Lopez. We're going to play this real quick.
George Lopez, homie. George Lopez, as we all know, is probably, arguably, the biggest comedian of our community. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's always had somewhat of what's the word I'm looking for here? Like a reputation of not always helping Raza, kind of being on top. I don't know personally. I just know I had that issue with the tortilla incident where he said, "What can I do?" But then he went on The View a few weeks back and he said, if you don't like drag, you are an enemy of mine. Yeah. So funny how he can go to a primetime show and stand up for drags and not stand up for his own people and his own community when CNN has the calling, right? Well, just recently, George was on his podcast. I'm sure drunk as always. Yeah, I said it. And let me show you what he's talking about, man. So there's this new up and coming comedian.
You're gonna play it through Bluetooth?
Yeah, I want to do Bluetooth. It's just like the phone. Yeah. Ralph Barbosa. Ralph Barbosa's already made his bones. He's making his bones right now. Mm-hmm. I want to say he had a Showtime special already. He's doing big things. The guy's booked out right now. So I'll let you hear it, and then we'll say what you got. All right, ready? Let me see.
Most helpful individual back then, but what I have done is I've left a template on how to do shit. And then it's somebody's duty to go and do it.
Exactly. But it is up to us to the Ralph Barbosas of the world to turn around and go, hey man, I want to make the path for you easy.
But nobody knows who that motherfucker is. What are you saying his name, man?
Look, I think he's great, and I'm doing it
wrong to say.
I'm doing exactly what I'm preaching is. What do you mean you don't can we bring this kid up? Right?
Have you heard of him? Okay. Is it wrong for me to say why do you keep bringing his name up? Nobody knows who he is. And I don't mean it mean. I'm saying
the man on the payroll.
The man on the payroll. So if you listen to the whole podcast, he was talking. He was first saying about Paul Rodriguez, how he wasn't the Paul Rodriguez, was talking shit about him. He pretty much said, well, fuck Paul Rodriguez. We all talk shit about everybody. Podcasters all talk shit about each other. Just going on his rant. And then
Salakia. So that's all. He's catching a lot. George Lopez is catching a lot of heat from the from the Raza for that comment what he said about Ralph Barbosa, right? So my question is, does any brother, what do y'all think about this situation? If I could,
I wanted to touch on that from the beginning, right? Because he said, someone said something about the pack of Skittles. And Tío Jorge said, if you're against the drag, then you're my enemy.
Right.
You understand? But he's standing for something that is against La Raza and not for La Raza. You understand? That right there is pure, example of Christianity, of Stockholm Syndrome, of integration. You understand? That's what happens when you really try to, please the master. You understand? Because you may have a black and brown tour, whatever the case is. At the end of the day, you're just a clique of Uncle Toms and Tío Tomas, just touring together. You understand? And that's all you're doing, right? Because then he would say, oh, have you heard of him? Like, why would I bring up the brother? Why would I, give him a hand or help him out? Have you ever heard of him? The point is,
right.
Let's make people hear about him. You understand? You're the OG, pave the way, give him a hand. Like not that he's asking for it, but show the way to the new generation. and you don't want to do that. You know, you're comfortable in your position. You're just a comfortable slave. That's all you are. You understand? It really, we need to break that cycle of being, oh, I'm comfortable slave, so why would I need to help the next generation? No one helped me out, so why would I help the next? You understand? I mean, you're in the position that you're in. Why should you not help the next generation? That's a question you should ask yourself. You understand? Each one teach one, right? But you will not ever see that outside of the ISUPK. Salak one.
Absolutely.
I
No,
know.
I agree 110%, man. I mean, first of all, guys have a hard time even being in these big time platforms, man. You know what I mean? So when we finally get one, instead of dropping the ladder down, man, you're pulling it up. You know what I'm saying? This another thing too. George Lopez is an older individual. He's an older man. You know what I'm saying? He's like, we could say an OG, right? An OG should always be giving game to the youngsters. Always, man. Helping that camarada out. You know what I mean? Giving them tips, you know what I mean? What helped him come up in this game. You know what I mean? Because Mexicans, it's hard for Mexicans to shine, man. Even with the music. So when we finally get one, he's pulling up the ladder when he should be bringing it down. You know what I'm saying? And George Lopez didn't want to give that brother like he didn't want to mention his name.
Right.
Come on, man. Like he's like I'm actually saying he's like a coconut, man. He's brown on the outside but white in the inside, man.
Right.
I mean, I don't know, man. I want to say they definitely got George Lopez, man.
I'm gonna say this if I could real quick. It just comes to show you, right, what exists outside of outside the ISUPK, right, which is the lack of carnalismo, which is the lack of brotherhood. Because we know, had that been, had this been a situation, the brother from the UPK, right, you always want the brother, the men that are below your rank, you want them to come up and to be better than you. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And of course, out there in the world, no brother on top wants the next man coming up to be better than him. So George Lopez, right, just demonstrated that issue that he couldn't give that brother Ralph Barbosa props. He couldn't say he's funny. He couldn't show support and be like, "Hey, y'all, listen to this carnal right here and hear him out. He's funny." Because he knew he doesn't want Ralph Barbosa to be better than him, which is what we're tied here in the UPK. We want the young men to get raised up and to be better than us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But out there in the world, that doesn't exist. You know what I mean? Outside the ISUPK, there's no brotherhood. There's no carnalismo. George Lopez could have easily been like, you know what? So support this carnal. Hear him out. Check him out, y'all. If he's and even for him to say, "Oh, who's that motherfucker?" Nobody knows him. Like he should have been like, you know what? Check, hey y'all. Like there's this brother coming up. Come check him out.
Right.
And then the other thing with George Lopez is going with what's going to get him paid. You know what I mean? That's why he's pro alphabet community. He's pro, even when he got called out for supporting the Black Lives Matter movement, but he was real quiet for the tortilla incident. You know what I mean? That happened.
Right.
As a matter of fact, in San Diego, right? That's where it happened, where they did that. He was quiet about that, saying he couldn't do nothing about it.
Sure.
Because that wasn't going to get him paid. He's following the pay. Go ahead, Carnal.
All that brother had to do is just talk about it. Put a light into the situation. That's all he had to do. Because Raza is tuning in. So he don't have to put boots on the ground and you know what I'm saying? He don't have to do that. But because of his platform, because everybody knows who he is, all he has to do is just talk about it. He didn't want to do that.
If I may too, and this was all said, it's so heavy. You understand? And like you said, Malak, to dial it back home, this is why we can't expect anyone outside of the UPK to give a damn about our people. George Lopez reminds me of Steve Harvey. George Lopez is is Mexican, right?
Right.
So George Lopez is just the Mexican Steve Harvey. You understand? Like, for the life of me, I don't even understand why and how Steve Harvey has risen to the voice now of reason in the black community. Like, nigga, your job is to tell jokes for a living. You get
Right.
paid to make niggas laugh. Just stick to making niggas laugh. And we should really look at our condition as a people that we're so destroyed. We're looking at a jester, a court jester, a comedian.
Damn.
I'll be
That's heavy.
reason in our community. This nigga is a clown. You understand? He's a clown, just like Steve Harvey, just like Ricky Smiley, just like all these Uncle Tom niggas that are Christians, and all they like you said, is chasing the bag. If that was a Jewish comedian they was talking about, that was a gay comedian they was talking about, he would have brought them up. Y'all go support such and such. I'm an ally to the community. You understand? He would have made sure that he let everybody know that, you know, I'm supporting this person, but because it's one of his own, and we're so much of a slave in this place because of Christianity, that's what slaves do. It's typical. As I'm listening to him, it just sounds like a nigga on a plantation. That's all I'm hearing. It's like the master now is trying to decide between, you know, the slaves and who he wants to bring up as the next up and coming slave. And here go this old slave who he already established. So this young slave is no threat to you. But just you being such a goddamn slave in mind, you like, well, I made it, and I you know, I don't want nobody else to make it, or I had to do this coming up, so everybody else got to do this coming up. Well, that's not how it's supposed to be. Like any good father or brother or big brother understands, you don't want your little brother or your sons to go through the shit you went through. You know what I'm saying? You got to learn, like, bro, I paid the cost, so you had to go through the hard way or the way I went through it. That's what a real brother or father does. Only a selfish bastard would say, well, I had to get it out the mud, so you got to get it out the mud. I had to get whooped, so you had to get whooped. What the fuck are we talking about? You understand? Like, damn.
Right.
And that's why in the churches, they take their children to the same places where they were molested. All through the Catholic Church and the Christian Church. That's why everybody knows child molestation exists. And many times, many of those parents are victims of child molestation. But you know why they take them to the church? Because I went through it and I'm okay. I made it. So if this happens, you'll be okay. You understand? Like we have to really run from that slave mentality. And the way we do it is to reject Roman Catholicism, reject Christianity, reject any of the oppressors' ideology and philosophy, and fuck his money. Like niggas would bend over for the right price. And that's the problem. And that's why I don't have no respect for these entertainers, man. I don't have no respect for a nigga that sing, dance, and run a ball off the goddamn. Just do your job, man. Just entertain the white man, and keep your mouth closed, man.
Right.
It's real. Speak on the issues, because outside of the UPK, none of you are qualified. None of you. You know what I'm saying? So Salakia.
Sir. Absolutely. Just like the Ottawa said, man. All you and that goes to everybody that follow these entertainers, man. Like you guys are following them, and like if they got the answers, man, they're ball players, man. They're entertainers. You know what I mean? They don't got boots on the ground. Open your eyes, man. You gonna see the IGBK. They've been on boots on the ground since 1969. You know what I'm saying? These ball players, man, they're not leaders of the community. You know what I'm saying? They're just entertainers, man. They're chasing the bag. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And
Go ahead, priest.
Just like Officer Kazak Ahmad was saying, and Officer Ayar just said, you understand? It's like basically, if there's nothing productive to say, just don't say nothing. You're an entertainer in the first place. You're not, you know, outside the UPK, you're not qualified to speak on those issues affecting our people. You understand? You may think you're a civil rights activist. You understand? You're a so-called Panther. Or because you're La Raza, you're able to speak on it. But La, you don't, because you're in the world. So you don't have the universal and practical knowledge that we have. You understand? This is why we tell you, tune into the classes. You understand? So, you know, we get you up to speed on what's going on. We tell you, get on, cross the line, get on Blackwatch, get on La Pura Neta. You understand? Right. Because we are the men qualified to speak on these issues. Yes, we're not gonna make comments of, oh well, who's that little nigga right there? You know, he's not important. You know, let him think his way, and then we'll talk about it. You understand? You know, we're not gonna shadow any of our people. You understand? Right. We're not just gonna speak bad on our people just like that because, you know, he's not contributing to my bank account whatsoever. You understand? Right. We don't give a damn about that. We're here to save our brothers and sisters. Salakia.
Now go ahead, Breeze. Now, if I could, real quick, let me say this. You don't hear about Joe. Why do you think cats like Joe Coy aren't getting backlash because he's dissing an upcoming Asian comedian? You know what I mean? When you look at the other nations, they're not. You know what I mean? They're not openly dissing their own. You know what I mean? But we have that issue as so-called blacks and so-called Hispanics. We have that issue and that plague of individualism. You know what I mean? Where it's all about me. It's not about my brother. I can't show love to my brother. You know what I mean? And that's the whole thing. Like when it comes to us, for some reason, entertainers have to be our leaders. And as this situation shows, entertainers are not leaders. Like Officer Kazakaima brought out, right? Just stick to making jokes, man. And if anybody, I'll add this. If anybody asks any of you entertainers about social issues, refer them to Commanding General Yohana. Refer them to the ISUPK.
Right, brother.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
Let them do the, Most High in Christ, sir. You know what I mean? Because that's who you need to hear from. You know what I mean? But that, of course, people in the world don't. Our brothers and sisters in the world don't know that. Don't know that, entertainers are not leaders. They look to these entertainers as role models, as, spiritual guides and whatever. But they're not, man. And how they carry themselves is the proof, man. So George Lopez, that whole situation with him, man, it's not surprising to us in here. But of course, out there, as you can see, everyone's disappointed. Everyone is angry, as well as they should be, and they got a right to call him out. It was brought out that George Lopez privately apologized to Ralph Barbosa. I'm going to add more to Carnalismo. George Lopez should have apologized publicly. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because he shamed the brother
Absolutely.
publicly. You should have apologized publicly, which is, like I said, man, outside of here, it doesn't exist. Outside of the ISUPK, there's no brotherhood. But in here, man, it's a worldwide phenomenon out there to see blacks and Hispanics getting along and everything be all good. But in here, it's not. It's natural to us because that's, because we know who we got the truth. We got our identity. Out there, we lost, man. We lost. We think we're Hispanic. We think we're this. We think we're that, and we think we're different people. We think we're individuals when we don't look at our whole nation, man. Versus the Asians, the Arabs, the East Indians. They had that unity because they look at everything like, what's that term, for lack of a better term? They had that hive mentality where they all move together as one. We don't have that, man, and that's what happens, man. But Salak, I'll give the floor to the next priest.
No, what you said is so right, and I'm like, what you said is so right, and that and the outrage from the people lets you know that the people have more integrity than these rich niggas. And I remember Muhammad breaking that down. The reason why we get so upset and we have this outrage when these black and Hispanic entertainers do certain things is because really you looking at it from a standpoint of, I wouldn't have done that. You understand? I wouldn't have sold out. I wouldn't have sold out. I wouldn't have dissed that brother like that. Really, what you're witnessing, if you're black, Hispanic, or Native American, this is what you should understand. You are more qualified, you understand, you have more integrity. I'll say it that way. You have more integrity than the rich of our community. And that's why Christ, when he was on the earth, he told that rich man, you got to sell everything you have, because he knew that when you get rich, it's a certain spirit that comes along when most of the time when people get rich, they forget about where they come from. They forget about their people, and they become very high-minded. And you look at most, you look at most of the brothers that was rocking with Christ. I believe outside of Matthew, all of them was average brothers. I believe Matthew was a tax collector. Now, don't quote me on that. I got to go back and read. It's been a minute. One of those disciples, they were a tax collector. You understand? It's a tax collector today would be like a police officer. But outside of that, like these were brothers that were average, working brothers that, they weren't rich. They weren't well off. And that's what you're seeing now in the UPK. None of us are rich. None of us have George Lopez's money. You understand? None of us have Steve Harvey's money. None of us have the money that these celebrities have, but somehow we're able to do so much more because we have brotherhood. We have each other. And I think it's just sad because George Lopez, it's not like they was asking George Lopez to even donate money to the brother. It's like, damn, nigga, you know, you all you could have did was, like Barack Yala said, if you didn't have, if you want to go and, you know, be supportive of the brother, you could have just kept your fucking mouth closed. You could have just been quiet. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like they was asking for you to contribute to the brother's career or anything. You know what I'm saying? I could understand then, you know, you being a selfish bastard where now you like, well, I don't know who that is. I don't want to give my money to him, but they wasn't even asking for that. They just brought up the brother's name, and that's how you act. You're a slave, brother. You are a slave, and you are the slave that would tell if the other slaves were planning to leave the plantation. That's who you are. You would tell. You would go run and tell as soon as you found out we was trying to leave the plantation. And you're the worst of us. You entertainers are the worst of our community, and we shouldn't look up to you.
We got a name for him. We call him Malinches. He would have been the Malinche.
Yeah, Malinches. What that mean, Priest?
That's the name of infamous indigenous. Is a woman, right? IR is an infamous indigenous woman that sided with the Spaniards against her indigenous people.
Right. It was a indigenous lady, an Aztec lady. She was hearing what the white man wanted, went to the brown side, and she would just translate the information, let him know all of our moves and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it traded, in other words.
Yeah, Malinche. Yeah, I'm the water. I'm adding that to my lexicon, brother, because I'm telling you, I'll be on that TikTok and I'll be going back and forth, but not just like you said, not just Uncle Tom's, but Theo Tomas as well. You know what I'm saying? So
Uncle Tomahawks.
It's like, Uncle Tomahawks. You understand? Like it's a mental illness, and that's why I love being under Commander Johanna Asher PK, because without the truth, it's easy for you to hate them type of niggas. It's real easy for you to say, fuck you, you a traitor. And we don't, you know, but being in the truth is like, okay, but, you know, it's still fuck you, but, you know, you got a chance now for it to not be fuck you. You know what I'm saying? You got a chance now for us to be supposed to. Because in the world, it just would have been fuck you. And then if I see you, the outcome gonna be different. So thank the Most High for the truth and changing our mentality where we not like them fake Israelites. Death to the 2/3. It's like, I hope all you niggas die. You understand? Like that's not. You know, like, George Lopez, you can come in here but learn how to be a brother, and you should. George Lopez, you should come in here as a trooper in all black. You should shut your goddamn big headed mouth, and you should sweep these floors and hold post and do what we all had to do. And learn how to be a brother, like we all had to learn how to be. And George Lopez, you would see that you have much more to offer your community than fucking jokes. So like it.
Right. Come with concert. That's heavy. Most High Christ. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he does have so much to offer, man. Like I said, man, he's up there, man. You know what I'm saying? All he had to do was just talk about it, and everybody's gonna follow suit. You know what I mean? Like that's one thing about it. Go ahead, other one.
Now I'll say this real quick. IR is like, imagine how much it would have helped him if he gave that canal props. You know, it would make him look good. It would have made him look good. You know what I mean? But he went and hated on the brother, and it backfired. The man looked bad.
So, like, I ain't mean to be long with it, but you brought something to my attention, Malakbone. You said that. Okay, and most brothers may not be familiar, but okay, this happened with Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby was known as the black comedian that instead of accepting the new wave of comedians, Bill Cosby spoke against the new. Like Bill Cosby was notorious for speaking against Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor, and he's like how Bill Cosby thought himself to be a more dignified and classy comedian, and Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor were too raunchy. You know what I'm saying? Or too racy, what they would call. And you see what happened when that nigga got jammed up by Esau with the white woman. Black community wasn't sticking with him the way he thought they would, and he was hurt by that because you didn't stand with your brothers. You understand? So listen, the Lord got a way of now showing you, nigga, you gonna get back what you put out. And George Lopez, you deny your brothers. There's gonna be a time when you're gonna look to your brothers and you're gonna need your brothers, and we're gonna laugh. We're gonna laugh at you like we laughed at Bill Cosby. They're gonna show all the women. They were whatever you into, you know, like they showed all the women. They say Bill Cosby had violated, brother, and we laughed because you know it's part of it is not believable, part of it is believable. That's besides the point. But Bill Cosby didn't have the support of the black community like he thought he should have, and that's because Bill Cosby didn't support the black community the way he should have. And so, George Lopez, you better be wise and open your eyes and look what's happening to niggas like you.
Sir, absolutely. Most sign Christ, man. Those are wise words, man, from a priest. You know what I'm saying? Y'all need a big day, man. This is like pura neta, man. I want to give it to you raw. You know what I'm saying?
Man. But yeah, man, that, you know what I mean? Like, all this is going on, right? All these issues are going on, affecting us, where you see lack of brotherhood. You see the way these other nations treat us, right? And as all this is going on, you see that we're getting closer and closer to that Third World War, man. I mean, America then shot down the Chinese spy balloon. You done seen, you know, what is objects are getting shot down left and right. You know what I mean? So it just, man, Raza, y'all better wake up, man. You better learn, Raza. You better learn to love your carnal as yourself. You know what I mean? And the only way you're going to truly learn that is in here in the ISUPK. You know what I mean? We're going to teach you carnalismo, because that's what's going to end these issues that plague us, man. Carnalismo is what's going to end our oppression. You know what I mean? So y'all, like, better hear us out, Raza. Y'all better open your ears, man. All these issues that y'all mad about, because that's really what's outraging the Raza, IR. It's really the lack of carnalismo, man. You know what I mean? That's what the Raza is looking. That's what everybody, whether you black or you brown, ultimately that's what you're looking for. You're looking for brotherhood. That's why you join a hood. That's why you kick it with these cats, because you're trying to look for that brotherhood that you don't miss your whole life. You know what I mean? But man, you know what I mean? What they shooting things? They shooting things out the air left and right, right, IR?
Yeah, it's been like back to back ever since they shot down the supposedly it was a Chinese balloon. Next thing you know, I'm hearing from Fox News that they're shooting down UFOs.
Hey, it's a lot. And Barack, and then listen, shout out to Officer Barack Ya'ala too, because he was him and Officer Zabadia. They were speaking on this not too long ago. I was in the comments in the chat, and I said this in the chat on there. I was like, the United States spends billions of fucking dollars on the Department of Defense, on all these high tech gauges and all this shit, and you mean to tell me a fucking balloon can come to the United States? Like, what are we talking about? The Lord is showing you, Uncle Tom niggas that love the plantation. The plantation is not as safe as you thought it was.
Right.
You understand? Like, America is vulnerable. It's not that it like, and once again, if you understand the white man is the devil, and the word devil just means deceiver. If you understand, so like, if you understand, I got this documentary getting ready to run after I get off over here. If you understand the oppressor is the devil, you can understand that America is nothing more than a deception. It's an illusion. And you thought for so long that America can't be brought down to her knees, and this is an impenetrable place, and it's a place that's so strong, and we can always win. Woo, America, nigga. Okay, you seen what happened? Them niggas put a balloon in America. They can't stand no match for them real UFOs. Like, come on now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's sad. It's sad. Any of you that love America, you putting your hope in the Titanic. You understand? It's like, you know, investing in America is like buying a luxury room on the Titanic. You understand? You're a fool. You understand, nigga? Just get me to the lifeboats. You understand? Since I'm in the Titanic already, just direct me to the lifeboats, because I already know what's going to happen to this bitch. This bitch is going to sink. And niggas like George Lopez, the other comedians and entertainers in the Black and Hispanic community, y'all got luxury rooms right now in the Titanic.
Right. Salaki, if I could.
Go ahead, Priest.
Them entertainers are the ones playing as the ship. They're the ones with the band playing as the ship's floating, as the ship sinks.
Hey, you know what, brother? You're absolutely right. Them not even niggas in the luxury room. They the ones that's still entertaining while the ship is sinking. Like, all you can think of is has to love music. You know what I'm saying? We got to do our job. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep playing. And you think it's an honor. And you watch the movie, them cats was real dignified and felt honorable. Like, yeah, we play the violin until we sink. Like, nigga, you're not the captain. You understand? The only the ship is the captain. It's like, you have no stake in the Titanic. Get on the lifeboat. But they don't want the lifeboat because they think the Titanic is more honorable. than life.
Right.
And you think America is more honorable, and you're going to die the death that's coming to America at the hands of the Most High and these chariots. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, I love to see the news. You know what I'm saying? They talking about they shot down the UFO. Now, of course, we know these aren't the real UFOs because you can't shoot down any of the Lord's aircraft that the angels operate.
Right,
But
right.
just know, like you just said, Malak, World War III is on the horizon. That third world war is coming. This, like, he's been saying that shit for forever, and we've been talking about Armageddon. And everybody been talking about Armageddon in the last days for who knows however long. You better understand, we are in that time. You understand? We are literally in that time period, and there's a precept that said the prophets, you know, have prayed for this day. Like, we're living in a day that the prophets was praying to see. We in it right now. You know what I'm saying? And we don't really understand. Like, this is it. This is it. Not to get, you know, get people to think now it's gonna happen tomorrow. You shouldn't put a time limit on it, but you should know that it's coming, man. It's like Manager Johanna told us one time. We was in Florida. He was talking to us, and he said, "Brother, it could be within the next 5 years. It could be in the next 50 years. Just know it's going to happen in this time period. It's going to happen." You know,
so we're definitely on the right track to the prophecy.
Right. These oppressors, man, they got what they got. They got their conspiracies, they Project Blue Beams, and they fucking conspiracies about the vaccine that is the mark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That they want to fake. What would you say? They want to fake an alien invasion to win or whatever. You know what I mean? They always think that they really think that they gonna win against the Most High, man. These oppressors. That's the pride of Esau.
Sir. I mean, just by Donald Trump announcing that United States has a Space Force now, I mean that should open your eyes, man. That should let you know that, you know, the King of Kings, you know what I mean, Yahweh Shai, you know what I'm saying? He's coming real soon. You know what I mean?
Man. But that's why, man, like the only thing I'm gonna say, you know, like before we close out soon, man, is that right now, Raza, like right now is the time that you learn to love your carnal as yourself. Learn to love that brother as yourself, man. You know, y'all don't want to come listen to us. Y'all don't want to, you know, y'all might think we on whatever. I'm gonna say this, man. Learning to love your brother as yourself is not erasure. Learning to love your brother as yourself is not, you know, the same thing as the KKK. And when I mean your brother, I'm talking about another black or brown man. A lot of y'all got your groups. Y'all got your groups and your movements to address the issues that plague the ghettos and the barrios. Well, it starts with learning to love that brother, to forgive that brother, man. To see that he's the same as you.
Right.
That's how you're gonna start addressing those issues. All that talk about stop the violence, stop the gang violence, the peace treaties, this and that. None of that is gonna be able to happen if you don't have carnalismo. You don't have brotherhood, man. When you stop learning to love, you know, when you start learning to stop selling drugs to that carnal's mother, when you stop, you know, trying to take that man's woman, when you stop trying to whore that sister out, man, that's when these issues are gonna stop, man. We don't gotta worry about a Project Blue Beam. We don't gotta worry about, you know, whether there's a tracking device in the vaccine or it's something to kill us, man. What we gotta worry about is that this cat that I see every day when I leave the house in the barrio that mad dogs me, I should look at him as my carnal. I should look at him as, you know what, man? That's my brother right here, man. I'm gonna say what up to him. You know what I mean? I'm gonna be like, hey, carnal, are you good? Is everything good with you? How are you, carnal? Like, hey, man, look, I'm your brother. I'm here to help in any way. You know what I mean? Come in the spirit of brotherhood. Come in the spirit of, you know what I mean? Because all the other nations practice that. That's what they do, man. But we see that cat every day, man, outside, and we think he's our enemy. When our true enemy is that white man that's trying to literally erase us, man. I'm going to say real quick before we close out, IR. True indigenous erasure is Planned Parenthood. That's your indigenous erasure. Is the Alphabet Gang. That's your indigenous erasure, man. That's what's literally trying to erase us. But a lot of y'all worried about, you know, what people online say. You think some brothers online claiming to be this or that is the threat to your existence, when the threat to your existence is the likes of Planned Parenthood. America is trying to wipe out your existence, man. And they got you distracted, pointed at the wrong people.
Damn
With that,
right.
man, I'm going to just say this, man. I'm going to pass the floor to the next priest as we close out, man. Go ahead, IR.
I mean, I just want to say, man, you want to find something that's going to combat this war, is brotherhood, man. Brotherhood is a weapon that you need at these end of these times, man. You know what I mean? We got to wake up, Raza, and realize that when you're in the ghetto, man, you're living next to these same brothers are being oppressed by the same oppressor. You know what I'm saying? You got to wake up, man. And the ISUBK, man, we have the medicine, man. We have the cure to the mental illness, to the disease, to this virus, man. We have the cure. It's in the ISUBK, man. So tune in, man. La Pura Neta every Monday.
Go ahead to the next priest.
So Salak Yadwan, I'm gonna let you go first, Officer Kazak.
Yeah, go ahead, sir. Salak, yeah.
No sweat. The water, mighty man. That's the water. That's the water. I just want to say the water, y'all, for having me.
The water, you.
What time? What time East Coast time y'all start broadcasting?
I guess Salak. I think it's a late night show for y'all because we started at 9 o'clock over here on the West Coast.
Nah.
Yeah, basically, right now it's like 2:49 a.m.
Yeah. Okay, so y'all start 12 over here. That's no sweat. I usually be up anyways. So if I'm up, I'm gonna try to chime in as much as I can. I might not be able to stay each time, but I appreciate this for straight up and listen to you. You got to figure out a way to get it on TikTok as well. It's such a wide audience. I'm telling you, on that TikTok, well, we got to now broadcast this what we doing right here to TikTok, where every brother can be seen or whatever like that. So whatever brothers got to get their account, if their followers up, just work on it. It's gonna take work, but I'm telling you that TikTok, it's a lot of what we saying is already what many of us are thinking. You understand? Many brothers like me and Baraki Allah, you understand, the Judite and the Benjamite, many of us grew up around Hispanic brothers and we got love for them. You know what I'm saying? And then there's those of us who didn't grow up around Hispanic brothers or who don't have love for them, but either way, we both need it. And there's many Hispanic brothers like Officer Malagman and Officer Ayar who got love for us. You understand? So it's like we need to now bridge that gap to where we find more brothers that are like us. You understand? And TikTok is full of them. You understand? It's so much bullshit on TikTok. We should be there flooding the airways with the real shit. You know what I'm saying? So this is excellent right here too. And I'm glad I was able to come on. It was an honor. Listen to all you priests. You understand? This is, like I said, this is a real good thing. I don't know if you can notice, but even General Muhammad, just all the way from Commander General Yohana all the way down, understands the importance of Black and brown unity. Like this, you can't do this without all 12 tribes. You understand? So like I said, I was learning Spanish at one point and I stopped a couple years ago, but I'm definitely just listening to especially Baraki Allah. You put me to shame, brother. You understand? You really embarrassed me tonight. You're embarrassed. I'm letting you know you embarrassed me, Baraki Allah. But no, I got to really get back on it. And like I say, it's just good to just in any way we can to bridge the gaps. So I ain't gonna be long with it. The water again, y'all can let me come on here. You know what I'm saying?
Remember that Melinche.
Oh no, I ain't forget that. It's a lot. I'm with you guys. Yeah, the water. Listen, the insults coming. Those ain't hard to forget. The insults. You understand? It's everything else. I need to be able to bridge the gap. You understand? And not cuss a motherfucker out all the time. You understand? So I'm gonna definitely sharpen up on my Spanish. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Salakia.
My Christ, sir.
I'm not trying to put you too much to shame, Adawan, pero la pura neta todos los lunes por la noche a las 8:30 de la tarde, hora del Pacífico, a la pura neta, todos los lunes. Claro. Esta noche tenemos al oficial de 1000 Kazak Ahmad, el oficial de 500 Malakma, yo el oficial de 500 Baraki Allah y el oficial de 50 Ayar, el mexicano caribeño. Nos vemos a continuación. Raza, nunca olvides dos cosas: la unidad o la muerte. Y segundo, el hombre blanco es un pinche gusano un bastardo, un mal parido. Ese es el diablo que habla la Biblia. Hasta la próxima, Raza. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. Shalom, Raza. With that, man, in honor of my carnal, man, mighty man, priest and officer Yashikar Ban Yashikar. Orale!
Damn right. Orale. Damn right.